Well, I'm slowly running out of things that I can take off the front of this car, back of this car, middle of this car, pretty well anywhere. And I don't have the money to do the fancy things, so I'm looking for every ounce that I can come up with to make a difference. Last event, I was talking with another gentleman there, and he's like, well, why do you still have a wiper on there? It's like, well, what if it rains? And he pointed out it rained once last event, or last season. I didn't even take the car out of the trailer because, well, I don't have windows, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna deal with that. Call me crazy, call me a wimp, call me whatever.
Afraid of a little rain?
It's gonna be 100 degrees at this coming weekend's event. I think I'm gonna just be okay with removing the wipers altogether and getting that extra few pounds from the wiper motor assembly because it's double articulating out of the car. So let's get this thing out. In my case, you can see, the passenger wiper is already gone. I don't have the little seal booties here. I don't have the air boxes. There's nothing here. And I only have a couple of these clips still left that haven't fallen apart with heat and age over time. So I'll get those pulled, and then we'll get that wiper pulled, and we'll look to see what it's gonna take to get the whole assembly out. You're gonna want a trim tool of some sort to get underneath these little plastic heads while you're trying to unscrew them. Like I said, they are plastic, and these threads, sometimes they don't want to pull out as they are being unscrewed, so putting that trim tool under will really help. Put them in a bucket so you don't lose them. Just the weight of the drill keeps these things from coming out. And then use that same trim tool to get under to pop the actual retainer up and out. If need be, you can use a plastic trim tool to make sure you're not scratching or damaging anything. Obviously, this one's not plastic. This cowl shroud is the original. It hasn't fallen apart. Circumstances, there's a decorative cap on top of the retaining nut here. Mine's not there. This is a 16. Pop that off with a little impact. You've got your locking cam, and in most cases, this is gonna have been pressed on there so tight that you're not gonna be able to get it off very well. You might have to get something under it to get it out. Mine has been on and off so many times now, it's not so pressed. I've got this 2-jaw Pitman arm puller. We're gonna give this a shot. It fits right under there. Barely. There it is. Popped her nice and free. You can see here, I mark these guys when I take them off. I previously marked it on the stud so that if I was going back together, I would get the orientation of my wiper arm correct. Almost lost that one. And in my case, this cowl just pops right off because I've got nothing else holding it in there. All right, what's it gonna take to get this guy out? I see what looks like a couple of T30 Torx right here. Another one here and another one there. Okay, let's hit it up with our T30. Got a magnet to get those bolts out. Oh, that guy's not very tight. That's interesting. I wonder if because they are mounted down into these little rubber isolators, that's the reason for the lack of torque. Oh man, is this whole thing aluminum? Yep. This bracket is aluminum. That arm's steel. I guess I'm not gonna get as much weight off of here as I had hoped. Darn it. Oh well. Bolts are steel. That's weight. See what we're pushing. There we go. See about monkeying this thing out. Looks like we might have to pull this trim cover right here. Trim cover, trim cover, trim covers everywhere. Yep, that's what's holding it. That's a nice cover. Guess we'll throw this in the remove pile. All right, no trim cover, and that bad boy comes right out. It's actually a bit heavier than I thought it was going to be for being, looks like cast aluminum bracketry. Let's throw this bad boy on a scale. Okay, so we have one trim piece, some bolts, the retaining nut, our wiper arm, and our assembly. Do you have a guess what this is all going to weigh? Drop down into the comments. Let everybody know that you know. Whoever gets closest, pinned comment. Fun game for the day. All right, we're reading 0. Put my little weigh bucket on, and we're gonna tear, go back to 0. Throw everything in here and it won't fall off the scale. All right, last chance to put your numbers down below. Oh, that's more than I thought it was. Must be my puny little arms thinking everything's heavy. 11.5 pounds. You know, every ounce, every pound, 11.6 counts. I'll take this as a win. So the question now is, do I put the trim piece back on? I was thinking I was putting the trim piece back on, but now I'm not really sure. It's not gonna hinder anything being open like this, not in my small brain of thinking. It looks fine from here. There's a nice gap there to let air out from the engine. Obviously, I'm already letting air out through the hood vents. Let me pull the camera off and show you what this looks like up here. So up here, you can see the gap there. And if I don't drive in the rain, there's no risk of water intrusion or anything. And this car isn't street registered or anything. It's just a toy. Shoot, I'm going with, I think I like that. Just leave that off. Now add this to my overall weight measurement. I'm guessing this is like maybe a pound, 6 ounces. Shoot, now I have to put it on the scale. Pound versus 6 ounces, those are gonna be very different. All right, scale on. We're already on tear mode for my bucket. All right, where is it at? Where is it at? Oh, snap. 1.4. Let's see, can you see it? There it is, 1.4 pounds. You know, I think I'll take that as another big win. Holy crikey, that is quite the crop. I have active stabilization on this camera. I'm using a Sony ZV-E10 with the normal factory out of what you call 16-50 lens. Wow, that's a close-up of my face. I'm sorry about that. Either way, I guess I'm gonna move on to whatever comes next with this car. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to gut the rest of my driver and passenger front doors because, man, there's gotta be 20 pounds between those two that I can still take out. More fun to come. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Tomorrow is my birthday. I'm gonna take a hot second to relax. Hope you guys have a good one too.